Hello and welcome. It is I, Mike V. Today's video is for the slot players. We're going to discuss 4 things that uninformed slot players do at the casino. So the goal here is to let you guys know, don't be one of these people. Don't be one of the uninformed. The many uninformed, I should say. Uh, Also, you should keep in mind that you already are playing a casino game with a high house hedge. So don't hurt your chances further by doing any of these 4 things. Now, there are many more things that you guys can think of that uninformed players do. If you got some that I haven't mentioned here, we're going to just discuss these 4 things that have been uh, that I have noticed in recent visits to the casino. But if you got more, start the conversation in the comment section. I would definitely appreciate it. But let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that uninformed slot players do, this one's an obvious one, is that they don't read the rules of the game or check the pay table. So, for example, players just sitting down, putting their money in, and then start pushing the buttons. Basically just plops down and starts playing, not knowing what the hell they're playing. There are some people who are like that. But how can you do better here? Well, remember, you can touch the game rules button or the pay table button on the screen and just scan for the rules. This is assuming you're playing a video slot, of course. If you're playing a traditional three-reeler, the pay table is going to be probably right on the top pay glass and sometimes on the bottom pay glass. So it depends on the machine you're playing, but if you're playing a video slot especially, look for a touch screen or a button that says game rules or pay table or pays or something like that. And so you don't have to read the whole thing, just scan and look for the most important stuff. For example, look for the bet requirements to trigger the bonus round. Like, do you need to bet more than the minimum, or can you get away with betting the minimum, or whatever bet level you're planning on playing for on that machine? The other thing to look for is the bet requirements to qualify for a progressive jackpot. Do you need to bet max? Do you need to bet? Can you bet less than max? Can you even qualify for the progressive jackpot with the minimum bet? So that's something you gotta look for, especially if this is the first time playing that particular slot machine. So that's the first thing that uninformed slot players do, is they don't read the rules or check the pay table. Next one, I can't believe this still happens, but here's the second thing that uninformed players do, is that they bet 1 credit per spin on Wheel of Fortune. Or in the case of any three-reel slot that has a similar gimmick. So any three-reel slot that has a bonus game attached to it, or a massive progressive jackpot. Examples, Wheel of Fortune and Mega Bucks, they have those wide area progressives in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You have to bet, usually it's the maximum bet or close to it, to qualify for those jackpots. And also in the case of Wheel of Fortune, you have the spin bonus, where you get to spin the wheel on top. Or here I gave an example of Top Dollar. Top Dollar usually doesn't have a progressive, but it does have a bonus game that requires max bet in order to trigger it. So if you're betting 1 credit per spin on any of these games, you're missing out on the bonus rounds and potential for the big progressive jackpot, how slim that may be. But I'll show you a story here as we go down the bullet points list here. So example, like I said, a person playing 1 credit at $5 Wheel of Fortune. These are things I actually have seen, by the way. So this is pretty common. Yeah, 1 credit on $5 Wheel of Fortune. Max bet's usually 2 on that game. $10. There was a person in a suit, wearing a suit at MGM Grand. I don't even know if he was an employee at the casino. This was many years ago, or someone visiting for a conference, maybe. But I remember seeing that. It's like, guy fully dressed in a suit, and he's only betting 1 credit on $5 Wheel of Fortune, just to kill some time, I guess. I don't know why. Second example. This one is hard to hear, but hitting 3 Wheel of Fortune symbols with 1 credit bet. I've actually seen this at one of the casinos I regularly visit. That is local to me. So there was a crowd gathering, and there was a couple of women sitting on one of these big, the giant $1 triple gold spin Wheel of Fortune slot. They come in the big variety as well. If you probably have seen them. They had the three Wheel of Fortune symbols lined up on the first pay line. It was a 5 pay line game, and the rule is that you have to land it on pay line one to trigger to win the progressive. And you have to bet. For those of you who haven't seen the machine before, most of you guys probably know it. You have to bet either. You get a choice of betting either 1, 3, 5, 7, or $10. It was a $1 denomination. Uh, you need to bet at least $5 to play all 5 lines and qualify for the progressive jackpot. $7 or $10 you'll need to bet if you want to qualify for the gold spin bonus. Unfortunately, in this case, 3 Wheel of Fortune symbols hit on the front pay line. They only bet 1 credit. Instead of winning the 300 something thousand dollars, that was the top award, they won just 1,500 bucks. Lesson learned. Another example: hitting the top symbols on a buy a pay slot. So a game like Sizzling Sevens or Blazing Sevens, or if you play at MGM Grand, there's Cherry's Jubilee, for example. These games are called buy a pays, where you have to bet a certain number of credits to unlock certain symbols. So let's use Blazing Sevens for example. Uh, for 1 credit, if you bet only 1 credit on these games, you only qualify for any payouts involving bars. So the top award on a 1 credit bet on Blazing Sevens or Sizzling Sevens is going to be 3 triple bars, which is usually 60 credits. So that's the most you can win, is 60 times your bet if you bet 1 credit on a Blazing Sevens machine. To unlock the payoff for the sevens, you have to bet at least 2, and then 3 credits will give you the higher payouts on a 3 credit max bet buy a pay Blazing Sevens slot. And in the case of Blazing Sevens specifically, this usually has a progressive jackpot for 3 Blazing Sevens as well that require a max bet. But if you bet 1 credit on those games and you hit 3 sevens, 3 mixed sevens, or 3 Blazing Sevens, you don't get paid anything at all, which can lead to confusion for people who don't read the rules. If this ties back to the first thing that uninformed slot players do, when we mentioned earlier. So this ties into that as well. Now, let's say you can't afford more than 1 credit. You want to bet 1 credit. You want to bet $1 on a $1 machine. You don't want to bet the max. You don't want to bet 3. You don't want to bet 5. Whatever it is. So if you must bet 1 credit, the advice I'm giving you here is to look for a standalone double diamond or triple diamond game, because usually Wheel of Fortune, Top Dollar, those games will usually have a double diamond or triple diamond base game attached to it, or something similar. But in this case, yeah, if you just find the standalone game and bet 1 credit there, because you're not punished on those on the standalone games for betting less than a max. Some games like Triple Diamond, for example, may have a slightly higher boost to the payoff for the top award if you bet more than 1 credit, but uh, if you bet max credits, but it's not that big of a deal in that case. And especially in Double Diamond, there the 2 credit version and some of the newer 3 credit versions, they don't give you a boost at all for betting max, so there's no real purpose at all. You could bet 1 credit on Double Diamond with no issue whatsoever. You get the same long-term payback percentage as betting max. So look for those games if you want to bet 1 credit per spin on a traditional 3 reel slot machine. All right, here's the third thing that uninformed slot players do, is that they fall for misleading visual gimmicks. I'm going to go ahead and explain what I mean here. So, in this first bullet point, slot games with bonus rounds or jackpot picks that are triggered at random that contain visuals that make you believe that you are close to triggering the bonus, even though it's completely random when you do hit it. Games like 88 Fortunes, Dancing Drums, uh, those have those pots of coins in them. Whenever you land wilds on the reels as you're playing as you're spinning and playing the game, those wilds will show an animation of coins going into the pot, and then at random it might trigger the pick bonus for one of the progressive jackpots. And you'll see, visually it'll show more coins coming in, and it looks like it's filling up, and oh, it's about to overflow. It's making you. It's the uninformed will think that it's about to hit. No, it's not. It is not. It's completely random, and it can hit even when it's more than half empty. Yeah, it can hit it. It can hit back to back even. There's it's completely random in that regard. Another example I put here in the list: goldfish feeding time. This one hits close to home. I'll explain it as well. Actually, we'll show you a couple of photos I found on the internet to know what game I'm talking about. So this is goldfish feeding time. Um, it's where the bonus is triggered randomly. As you're spinning the reels, you have to get these fish food symbols. There's they're in three different colors for the three different colored fish, and then the animation goes and feeds it into the fish bowl, and it may or may not cause the fish to grow. And then the bonus is triggered once the fish grows bigger than the bowl itself, and it breaks, and that triggers the bonus, or a super feature if multiple fish uh, break the bowl and trigger at the same time. The thing is that it's completely random. It may look like this big fish is causing the bowl to crack, and visually, and it looks like, if I just played a bit more, and they start chasing for that bonus because it looks like it's about to come. It's not. It's not. You'd be surprised the number of times. This is a story I'll go ahead and tell you, because this has affected. As much as I'd like to think we're a smart family, there are family members who still will still will fall for this. So I remember this was, I don't remember what trip it was, but it was not that long ago actually. Standing around waiting for one of my family members to leave a machine, and they continued to put in a 20 after 20, because like two of these fish here were like so big, and the bowls were even cracked, visually, like it was about to. It's like, oh, it's about to hit. It's about to hit. Well, no, it's not. And you can go through multiple. You can go through twenties, hundreds of dollars before it hits, because it's at random. It's when the RNG picks the number that triggers the bonus. It's just a visual gimmick that tries to trick people into playing. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Let me go ahead and also show you another picture from the internet as well that shows the rules of the game. It says any of these three colored fish food uh, feed may award free spins. May award. That clear. That means they can hit at any time that you get them, and the fish is being fed. It may grow all from like a small one immediately and trigger the bonus right away. It can happen at any time. Let me go back to the previous slide and actually give you a little disclaimer here. Is that it's okay to still play these games. If you like them and they're fun to play, go ahead and play them. Just know that it's also okay to walk away and not chase when you see, you know, an 88 fortunes or dancing drums pot of coins overflowing, like, oh, it's about to hit, or one of the fish in goldfish feeding time growing. You know what I'm saying. That looks like it's about to hit. It's not. It's not, and it doesn't have to, and it even doesn't have to be that big to even hit right away. So you get my point here. So don't be the uninformed and falling for these visual gimmicks. You can play these games, but remember, know what you're playing. Goes back to part one, where goes back to part one. I'll go ahead and show it again. Is to read the rules. Know the game, understand the game, and that's okay to once if you lost your 20, it's okay to walk away. Let someone else chase for that and lose their money, I guess. We don't want that for anybody, but just not let it be you. All right, the final one. This one's a funny one. I don't know why in the past year this seems to have become a thing. But the fourth and final thing that I'm going to discuss today that uninformed slot players do is they believe that increasing the volume of a slot machine means more chances to win. It started out as a joke. It began to spread, and as with anything in the internet, misinformation tends to spread faster than actual knowledge. It's completely illogical thinking, because especially if you know how slots really work. But no, the volume has nothing to do with how a slot machine's RNG works. You're not going to have any influence by increasing the volume. And I also put down here in the final bullet point, you don't need to be a slot technician to know that this belief is completely bunk. If you've been in a casino long enough, me, it's what, over a decade being able to play, and probably close to 20 years if you include me underage just watching uh, slots being played. Uh, if you've been inside a casino long enough and you play these games, you know that this is not true at all. You can you yourself or you've watched others play quiet machines and they win, or you play loud machines and you lose. You could probably make a, a, a myth. You could probably make your own myth of the opposite being true, that increasing the volume makes you lose more. But that would not be true either, as well. But you can make those cases either way, and in either case, it's very uninformed and it's not true at all. I won't go into any further detail, but if you want to ask further, the comment section is right there below. And speaking of such, we're going to go ahead and end the video right here. Those are the 4 reasons and the 4 things that uninformed slot players do or believe. There's a lot more that's out there, and I invite you, go ahead and put it in the comment section of this video. Name me some things that maybe you used to believe or do, whether or not you still do it, or that other people have done, and have a conversation about it. I like to see the comment section of this video flooded with comments on slot machine myths. but but other than that, besides putting your comments down below, if you enjoyed this, you learned something, maybe you know someone who's believed or done any of these before, tell them to watch this video and share it with them. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, give it a share, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I go live next. I'll see you for the next video. Take care and go make it happen.